In the uncharted regions of the galaxy, on a distant planet called Solaria, chaos reigned. The air shimmered with alien colors, and the ground trembled under the weight of a relentless invasion by the Threxan horde, a race notorious for their hunger for conquest. Amidst the destruction, a lone human, Commander Ethan Drake, piloted his battered starship, the Stellar Vanguard, through the smoke-filled skies. Ethan's mission was simple, reconnaissance, but the sight of a young alien girl, Larry, being cornered by the hulking Threxan soldiers forced him to deviate from his orders. The girl, with shimmering cerulean skin and iridescent hair that seemed to glow under the alien sun, screamed for help. Her violet eyes were wide with terror as the Threxans closed in. "Hang on," Ethan muttered under his breath, gripping the controls of his ship. He landed with a thud, the ship's thrusters kicking up a cloud of dust and debris. Grabbing his plasma rifle, he stormed out, his boots crunching against the crystalline terrain. The Threxans turned, their insectoid faces twisting into expressions of anger. Ethan didn't give them a chance to react. His rifle lit up, bolts of energy slicing through the air. 2 Threxans fell instantly, their exoskeletons shattering under the impact. "Get down," Ethan shouted to the girl. She obeyed, dropping to the ground as he covered her with precision shots. The remaining Threxans hesitated, their compound eyes flickering with doubt. That moment of hesitation was all Ethan needed. He unleashed a barrage, driving them back until they retreated into the shadows of the alien jungle. Ethan approached the girl cautiously. She was trembling, her delicate frame shaking with fear and exhaustion. "It's okay," he said softly, lowering his weapon. "You're safe now." The girl looked up at him, her violet eyes glistening with gratitude. "Thank you," she said, her voice melodic, but tinged with the strange cadence of her native tongue. Despite the language barrier, Ethan understood her perfectly. It was a moment of unspoken connection. "Let's get you out of here," Ethan said, extending his hand. She hesitated for a moment before placing her slender, 3-fingered hand in his. Back aboard the Stellar Vanguard, Ethan tried to make sense of the situation. The girl introduced herself as Lyra, a Solari scientist who had been studying the planet's unique flora before the Threxans attacked. Her people had been caught off guard, their peaceful nature making them easy prey for the ruthless invaders. Lyra explained through a rudimentary translation device that the Threxans were after a rare energy source found only on Salaria. If they succeeded in harnessing it, their war machines would become unstoppable. Lyra's research held the key to neutralizing the energy source, but her work was incomplete. "So they're not just invading your planet," Ethan said, his brow furrowing. "They're planning to use it to conquer the rest of the galaxy." Lyra nodded, her expression grim. "I need to finish my research, but I can't do it alone." Ethan leaned back in his chair, considering his options. He had no obligation to stay. His mission was to gather intel and report back. But something about Lyra's determination struck a chord within him. He couldn't abandon her, not after what he'd seen. "All right," he said finally, "we'll finish your research together." Lyra's eyes lit up with hope. "Thank you, Ethan. You have a brave heart." Over the next few days, the unlikely duo worked tirelessly. Lyra guided Ethan through dense jungles and treacherous mountains to collect the necessary samples for her research. Along the way, they faced countless dangers, from Threxan patrols to the planet's own hostile wildlife. Each challenge brought them closer together, their bond growing stronger with every narrow escape. Ethan was struck by Lyra's intelligence and resilience. Despite her delicate appearance, she was fearless in the face of danger, her mind always working to find solutions. Lyra, in turn, was fascinated by Ethan's unwavering determination and selflessness. He risked his lifetime and again to protect her, something she had never experienced before. One evening, as they rested by a crackling fire under Salaria's twin moons, Lyra spoke softly. "Ethan, why do you risk so much for me? For my people?" Ethan stared into the flames, his expression thoughtful. "Because it's the right thing to do. Because I couldn't live with myself if I just walked away." Lyra's gaze softened. "You're unlike anyone I've ever met. You're kind. Humans are known for their tenacity, but you're special." Ethan chuckled, rubbing the back of his neck. I'm just a guy trying to do the right thing." But to Lyra, he was so much more. As their mission neared its climax, the Threxans launched a full-scale assault on the Xaluri research facility where Lyra had been working. Ethan and Lyra fought side by side, their partnership seamless. With Ethan's combat skills and Lyra's scientific expertise, they managed to activate a device that neutralized the energy source, rendering it useless to the Threxans. The victory came at a cost. Ethan was injured during the final battle, a Threxan blade slicing through his armor. Lyra dragged him to safety, her heart pounding with fear. She refused to let him die, using every bit of her knowledge to stabilize him. When Ethan regained consciousness, he found Lyra sitting beside him, her eyes red with worry. "You're going to be okay," she said, her voice trembling. Ethan managed a weak smile. "Told you we'd finish this together." Tears welled in Lyra's eyes. "You're more than a hero, Ethan. You're my hero." With the Threxans defeated and the energy source neutralized, peace returned to Xaleria. Ethan's mission was complete, but his heart was torn. He had found something on this alien world that he never expected, a connection that transcended species and worlds. As he prepared to leave, Lyra approached him, her expression conflicted. "Do you have to go?" Ethan hesitated, looking into her eyes. "I have responsibilities back home, but that doesn't mean this has to be goodbye." Lyra stepped closer, her hand brushing against his. "Then promise me you'll return." Ethan smiled. "I promise." As the stellar vanguard lifted off, Lyra watched from the ground, her heart heavy yet hopeful. She knew their paths would cross again, and when they did, she would be ready to tell him the truth she had only just begun to understand, that she had fallen in love with the human who had risked everything to save her. In the vast expanse of the galaxy, their story was just beginning.